Hi guys, welcome to my podcast, and the topic today is going to be common mistakes that women make in the gym.
And I'm going to put my gym bro spin on it.
So there are mistakes that obviously both genders make, but there are mistakes that are very specific to women in general.
Such as doing a lot of cardio.
Yes. Okay, so number one mistake that I see very commonly is doing too much cardio.
It's a very upsetting mistake.
Upsetting.
I understand they want to lose weight, but that's not the way.
Yes, so doing too much cardio is very common. A lot of women will go into the gym because their goal is to lose weight, to burn fat, burn calories, and they assume that by doing 30 minutes on the treadmill, that's the optimum way to lose weight. Or they'll do some workout, but they might do a lot of cardio before, a lot of cardio after, and they just place way too much emphasis on cardio for their training.
And cardio is not only not working to lose weight, it actually makes you feel more hungrier and think you earned the right to eat junk.
Yes, so with cardio, it can actually be counteractive. And in fact, you can gain weight if you are mainly doing cardio simply because it increases your hunger levels, or you just feel psychologically that you've now earned the right to a bar of chocolate, for example.
But you actually burn the equivalent calorie of 1 square of chocolate, not 1 bar.
Yes, I mean, depending on your size, for me, if I'm on the treadmill for 30 minutes, I burn around 100 calories, which is not even half a bar of chocolate.
Yeah, and maybe I burn 50% more than you, but it's pretty similar.
So you burn very few calories by just doing cardio, whereas the longer game is to actually build muscle, which will increase your metabolism because you'll burn more calories by having more muscle mass. So by lifting weights, you actually turn your body into a fat burning machine as opposed to running on the treadmill. And I can understand why women make this mistake, because when you have done half an hour of cardio, it feels much more intense than lifting weights. It feels intense. It's exhausting. You're sweaty. You're out of breath. You feel like you're doing more work. And that's why it feels like a better option for losing weight, when in fact, by lifting weights over time, you will build muscle and you will therefore have lower body fat.
Yeah. And I'll give you information. If you lose weight by doing cardio, you are going to lose a lot of muscle, which is going to reduce your metabolic speed.
Even more.
But if you lose weight by building muscle, you are not only going to lose fat and keep your muscle, which is going to give you the toned look, but also increase your metabolism because you have more muscles to keep alive.
Yes.
Next mistake.
Next mistake, and it is linked to cardio, is signing up for circuit training. And I'm going to get shot down for this, but circuit classes are normally filled with women. They're predominantly female. I know men do circuit training too, but a lot of women, busy lifestyle before work, do a circuit class at 5 a.m., workout done. When their goal is to lose weight, they're doing circuit training.
If your goal is to replace your therapist and feel good, do that. Circuit training is amazing. But it's not going to lose weight or build muscle.
Yeah, if you're happy with circuit training because it makes you happy, then by all means. But lots of people genuinely believe it's the best way to lose weight, to lose fat, build muscle.
Because the influencers who lift actual weight and do boring workouts behind the camera do circuit training in front of the camera to sell their program.
Who are these influencers that work out behind the camera? Because I've never heard of them. They just don't work out. They're just photoshopped and injected and pumped and don't work out at all. Are there influencers who actually work out in secret?
You have a point.
I'm like, who are these people? Do they exist? They're just photoshopped, pumped fakers.
Yeah, kind of, that's correct.
They don't have the discipline or time to be secretly deadlifting behind the camera.
Yeah.
No one's doing that. Most of the time they're on appetite suppressants and then a little bit of Photoshop or some injections here and there.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah, that's the way. So circuit training, again, is often sold to women. But if you think about what circuit training actually is, you're doing a little bit of cardio. Maybe you're doing burpees and mountain climbers and star jumps. You're doing a little bit of lifting. Maybe you're doing bodyweight squats and, I don't know, banded rows. And maybe you're doing some bodyweight exercises like some push-ups. So you're doing a little bit of everything. So many reps, changes sporadically, no timed rest periods. So are you going to be building muscle from the 3 sets of bodyweight squats / rows? Are you going to be improving your cardiovascular health with the cardio? you're doing a little bit of everything terribly.
You'll be doing everything at the end, you'll result in nothing.
Yes, I think you're just doing lots of things very badly.
And the one downside of circuit training, because it's changing continuously, you don't have opportunity to master any exercise.
Whereas actually mastering some fundamental lifts, being active, getting your steps in, doing sports that you like, and then building muscle progressively through resistance training is going to be so much more effective, so much more sustainable, and you'll get the results.
I can promise you, the dream look that you have in your mind is coming from resistance training.
Absolutely.
Next mistake.
Ego lifting. That's another mistake women make. And I know this is often attributed as a male thing, but as a woman, from what I've observed and from what I know, ego lifting is as much a female thing as it is a male thing. It's just done slightly differently.
Tell me what's the difference.
Exercises. For example, women will ego lift on hip thrusts and squats. Men will ego lift on,
Bicep
I don't know,
curls.
don't care. Bicep curls. I don't watch the men. I watch the women. Men will ego lift on bicep curls, for example. And to be honest, ego lifting on bicep curls is not as bad as ego lifting on hip thrusts.
It's bad. Let's not talk about which one is worse.
So hip thrust, a very common mistake is really maxing out on the bar and then not locking out your glutes at the top of the lift because the weight's too heavy, when you could just reduce the weight and lock out.
But I assume it doesn't feel fulfilling when they lift lightweight.
Yeah, I can understand why people ego lift. It's a lot of women are just too embarrassed to reduce the weight. They feel like they're not good enough. They feel like they're going to be judged. They genuinely feel it's going to be embarrassing. And I can very much understand that. But you just need to think about the goal ahead. You want to build muscle, you need to lock out your hip thrust at the top, even if it means reducing the weight.
And there's a fact. People with good physique do full range of motion. People with not good physique do half reps. So maybe the way to get a good physique is to full range of motion.
Doing full range of motion, definitely. And as I always say, ego lifting and being successful in the gym cannot go together. You need to put your ego aside with the gym. If you're doing half rep hip thrusts, if you're doing half rep squats, because you're too ashamed, a lot of women are too ashamed, they're too embarrassed to just lift an empty barbell, which is understandable because sometimes the gym feels like a competitive environment. However, nothing is more impressive than good form, even if it's an empty bar. I love to see a woman squatting with an empty bar, but going ass to grass. I will be applauding that person because it actually takes some resilience to accept that you cannot squat with plates on the bar yet, but you're going all the way down. And then if you see a lot of women going 40, 50, 60 kg, but they're only squatting by a couple of inches. And you just want to say it would be so much safer, so much more effective if you just went all the way down and took some weight off.
Yeah, it's not going to only not build muscle, it will also probably injure them.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
If you would give 3 advice to women, what would they be?
3 advice to women. Don't be afraid to lift weights. Lifting weights is not predominantly for men. You're not going to get bulky as a woman. A lot of women hold back from lifting heavy weights because they feel like it's the domain of men primarily. And also they fear that they're going to get bulky. Unless you are actively bulking for years on end on 3,000 to 4,000 calories and taking PEDs, you will not get bulky. Even if you do that, you may still not get bulky. It is very difficult for women to get bulky. So do not shy away from lifting heavy weights because they will solve so many of your problems. That would be tip number 1. Tip number 2, stop saving influencer workouts.
Do they actually do that?
Of course they do. If you look at any influencer workout, you'll see at the bottom, save for your leg day, save for your glute day, save for this or that day. And then the next week they'll post 3 different workouts and then you save them and then you do them and then you're doing different workouts all the time that weren't made for you. When I say made for you, a workout should be tailored to your strengths, weaknesses, joint issues, injuries, training history, availability, goals. Training needs to be very tailored.
Yeah, an overweight person can't do the same workout of a slim person.
That's right. Also your body size, your leverages. Some people might need, I don't know, there's so many amendments. There's name me one exercise and I'll tell you how you can adapt it in unlimited ways according to all those factors. And that's why having a program that was made for you, and I love what I do. I love the fact that I program workouts for women based on all the things they tell me about themselves. And I just think that is just a much better approach than randomly Googling and saving influencer workouts.
And that's why they love their workout.
Absolutely.
Third one?
My third tip for women, lower the weight. It's always better to take a step back. If you're in doubt, lower the weight. If you're struggling, lower the weight. If you're not sure, lower the weight. You will lose nothing by lowering the weight and doing the exercise properly than if you were to increase the weight, increase your risk of injury, get nothing out of the workout because your range of motion was rubbish. So it is just not worth it. And honestly, the best results come from people who take their time with their journeys. If you take a few steps back, put your ego to one side and lift with good solid technique, safely, with full range of motion, lifting lighter weights does not matter. And is in fact optimum for you because doing it correctly with lighter weight is just better all round.
And if you want to do everything correct, lift heavy weight and improve as fast as possible, there's a link for Najah's coaching below.
And I'll see you guys soon.
Ciao.